Hey guys, Josh Wiesner here, owner of the Boat Dock. Let's go over some of the top questions we get about winterizing here at the Boat Dock. Stay tuned. I would say the number one question we get asked all the time is, why should I winterize my motor? And that answer will vary depending on what motor you actually have. If we're talking about outboards, I can tell you this. I've rebuilt I don't know how many motors in my 20 some years of being in the marine business, but I can tell you that if I took a motor completely apart and I put it on my workbench, if I didn't oil them cylinder walls, I would have rust on them cylinder walls within 1 week. Now you think about your boat sitting in the garage, whether it's heated, cold, outside, temperatures changing, humidity changing. If that motor is sitting there and nothing is done to it, I promise you in spring when you go to turn the key over and you did nothing to it, you are scraping rust with the pistons going up and down. It's a bad, eerie feeling, and it's not coincidence that most of the people that come in with problems in the spring are the people that don't do any kind of maintenance to their motors. At the Boat Dock, we use your winterizing as a maintenance program along with fogging it down, treating the fuel, and making it right for a spring startup with no issues. Here at the Boat Dock, we keep records of every single customer so we know what maintenance needs to be done at any given point. So for example, if you need a water pump every 3 years, you say, hey, when's the last time I had a water pump changed? And we can go back, see that, and get you on the right page. No need to waste your money all the time by doing it more often than you need to do it. Do I need to fog my outboard? The answer is absolutely. As in the first example I gave you where I took that block apart and put it on a workbench and it rusted up, we need to get oil on them cylinder walls so we don't have a rust issue come springtime. The goal here at the Boat Dock is to keep your motor running good as long as possible with no issues. So everybody thinks we love problems. I'm telling you we don't. We'd rather have things go smooth. But with the new motors, we're actually running a solution through them that not only coats the cylinder walls, but takes care of your internals also, like your fuel pump, your injectors. We want to keep them lubricated as well so you have a worry-free startup in spring. Let's talk a little bit about MerCruisers. MerCruisers are a complete different animal than an outboard, and you can't just trim them down and drain the water out of them. They hold water in the block. So if you don't get all that water out, you have major cracking in the spring, which means major money. Here at the Boat Dock, we do it different than other dealers, and we run a solution of antifreeze that's biodegradable throughout your motor and treat it at minus 40 degrees. A lot of dealers do it differently, where they drain your block out and they don't put any antifreeze in it, or they drain the block and add a little bit of antifreeze. What that does is it keeps the inside of that block exposed to air, which causes rusting. Another question we get all the time is, why should I do drive service on my MerCruiser? Drive service is super important and involves us pulling your drive off. We check the alignment, we grease the splines, we grease the U-joints, we grease the gimbal bearing, and we check everything over and reassemble it. If you don't do this and something fails, like a coupler, U-joint, bearing, the cost of that far surpasses us doing the maintenance. So super important to do it. You don't have to do it all the time. A Bravo drive, I believe, is once a year, but it depends on how many hours you use it. If we just did it the year before and you put 10 hours on it, there's really no reason for us to do it. Let's talk about fuel. We get a ton of questions about fuel. What should I do with my tank before I bring it in for winterizing? What should I do in the spring before I go to the lake? Here is the ideal situation. You run high-grade gas, 91 octane, preferred no ethanol, in the last tank of the year in the boat. You get that tank as low as possible before you bring it in for winterizing. When we get in here, we're going to stabilize your 91 octane that's left in there. And in spring, you're going to top that old gas your original gas off with 91 octane again with no ethanol. So ethanol is a major issue. And what does ethanol do? It collects, it absorbs moisture. So if we can stay away from ethanol, please do. A lot of the new motors do run perfectly fine on ethanol, and I run ethanol in my motor if I know I'm going to burn through a lot at a certain time. So tournament day, I'll run ethanol, no issue whatsoever. So the motors are made to run that. 10% at the most, no more. There's a lot of 15 out there now too. Do not run 15% ethanol ever. You will hurt the motor. So topping off your fuel tank in the spring with 91 octane is going to boost that gas back up to a high and acceptable octane level, and you'll be good to go. No fuel issues in the spring. Another great question we get is, what should I do with my batteries over the winter? We store a lot of boats here at the boat dock, and I can tell you I've been down this road trying to find the best solution, and the best solution that we found is to fully charge your batteries and disconnect the positive lead on them when you're done. It doesn't matter how cold it is outside, that battery will not freeze if it's fully charged. And if it does freeze, if it is bad in the spring, that battery was already getting weak on you this year and you didn't realize it. So that's the best tip I can give you on that, and it's been successful for us, and we're going to stick with that. Another question we get all the time is, what products do you use on my motor when I bring it in for winterizing? Here at the boat dock, we use only the OEM product. So all the Mercury and MerCruiser product, that's all we use. No aftermarket, anything. The best of the best. It is a little bit more expensive, but I'm telling you, that's what Mercury wants in there, that's what MerCruiser wants in there, and that's what we're going to use. At the boat dock, we also guarantee your motor will start in spring if we winterize your motor. So as long as that motor is running good when we're winterizing it, if you have an issue in spring and it doesn't start, give us a call and we'll get you going ASAP. Hopefully these tips have answered your questions, but if not, feel free to reach out to us at the boat dock. We do have limited storage available yet. We are a Ranger and Triton boat dealer and have a large showroom with product in stock, and also have the Garmin and Lowrance product on display as well. If we can help you, we would appreciate your business. Reach out to us at 920-269-2628, and the website here is www.theboatdock.com. Hope to see you soon. Thanks for your business and good fishing.